about Donald Trump. Yes, I think Hillary Clinton said two correct things in her life. One of them was the deplorable line that everybody hates. No, that's totally true. In my opinion, half the Republican base is deplorable. And I think they are racist, bigots, sexist, etc. We could talk half, easily half. Okay, but the other half,
it's 40 million people in America.
Absolutely, not even close.
Believe that.
100%. We could debate it. Okay, but hold on. Let me get to the other 40 million. Okay, the other 36 million or so that voted for Trump. No, they're just angry that the establishment is screwing them, and they don't know how they're getting screwed.
That's exactly what Charlie Kirk said.
Right, and that's
they're
what
scorned.
And they hate mainstream media, and they're right, because mainstream media is a factory of lies. So they'll say, "Oh, the status quo is great." For who? Yeah, the billionaires who run those companies and the millionaires who are on air. Yes, for you guys, everything's hunky dory, but it's not great for when wages didn't go up for 45 straight.
I just got to stop the tape, stop the tape, stop the tape. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Cenk just started right away. This guy is such a freaking shill for Hillary Clinton still. And he says he's a progressive. But then he comes out and he says what? The deplorables was one of the greatest things that Hillary Clinton said. You know what's deplorable, Cenk? Cenk the Jenk, you're deplorable. How's that? Unfreaking believable. This guy comes out there. He just can't stand Donald Trump that he won. He just can't stand the fact that he beat the crap out of the Democrats, beat the crap out of the establishment, beat the crap out of everybody. Go back and take a look at the night of the election, 2016, the 8th of November, and take a look at the young jerks. Him, Anna, I think Jimmy Dore was there, some others. They were crestfallen. Just go back and take a look at those videos, folks. They couldn't believe what was happening. And then Cenk the Jenk from the Young Jerks is coming out here basically immediately, boom! It says the deplorables that have 40, 50 million people are absolute, 50 million people. 1/6. 1/7 of the population, he's basically saying, is racist. I mean, this guy just talks out of his ass all the freaking time. Anyways, folks, welcome back, one and all. Welcome all of you here. I'm Dr. Nasir of the Dr. Nasir Shaikh Show. We're going to get to more of this video with PBD and Cenk the Jenk. But that's what's on tap for today, folks. You're going to be hearing the loudmouth giving it his all, plugging his book, plugging progressivism. I'm going to give you my prescription, my political prescription for my political perspective. Let's go to that videotape. I'm going to try to stop from stopping the tape, but I know this guy is going to comment, and I just want to basically react to this idiot buffoon every time he opens his mouth. Let's go to the tape right now.
Ironically went up a little bit, but for 45 years straight, wages did not go up. Okay, we have no universal health care in this country when every other developed country in the world has it. We have no paid family leave. We send moms back to the assembly lines and coal mines the day after they deliver. So we have corporate rule in America. And chapter 5 is about the matrix, and that's mainstream media that lulls you back to sleep. Corporate power is awesome. Corporate rule is great. The lobbyists are innocent. The politicians, oh my God, they're such sweethearts. They're having ideological differences and they're having debates. No, they're not. They're getting checks and then doing exactly as they are told. And that's true of 99% of the Republican Party. And yes, 80% of the Democratic Party at least.
Stop. The way you just said it was so funny. So 99% Republican Party, 80% the Democratic Party. Okay. Can you pull up the chart that just came up? This one right here. Total spending of presidential campaign financing in the United States. They changed a law, I think, in 2019, 2020, that allowed corporations to just open up their checkbooks. I'm sure you're familiar with this. Look at the kind of money we raised for presidential campaigns. From Carter, 197 million, to Reagan, 228 million, to Reagan again, 380, to Bush Sr., 346, to Clinton 478 to Clinton again 612. Then it's Bush 891. Then it's Obama. I think it's what's that 1.769 billion, 1.4 billion again Obama, 1.529 million Hillary Trump. Boom, $4 billion. Whatever they could to get rid of Trump. They spend all the money in the world to get rid of this guy. They figured out ways to say, dude, if we can outspend that guy, because, you know, we can be controlled. So this is the part where, for me, where we agree and where we disagree. This is the part. Like, I had Ari Fleischer here. You know who Ari Fleischer is? And I'm like, you know, a couple of the decisions you guys made when you listen to the CIA, and I'm like, why wouldn't you double verify this? You know, this is a big decision you're making to do this, to do that. Well, I don't know, but we could have done this and we could have done that. And we had Paul Manafort here. I'm like, dude, lobbying. Why? It's the dirtiest thing out there. And he's like, well, I totally get it. But, you know, him and Roger Stone started the lobbying firm. I don't know what, one of the most powerful lobby firms that they had together 30 years ago, 40 years ago. So what the other guy's going to do it, what are you going to do? Sit on the sidelines? Okay, valid point. But I'd like both sides not to do it, right? However, when you look at it now and you see the kind of money that's being spent on the left for them to push their agendas over, you set aside this lobby stuff out. You set aside corporations putting money in to who they buy. Like, you know, the joke about Koch brothers. Well, you know, he wakes up and says, what do I get for my birthday? Which president, right? Now it's more the left that's doing that. You got the Soroses. You got the Larry Fink and BlackRock with how their ESG score and, you know, State Street and Vanguard. And that thing's becoming a reality where it's no longer about Democrat or Republican. It's truly becoming more about the establishment folks and the anti-establishment folks.
100%.
And if we're talking anti-establishment, Cenk, you have to agree on this, bro. You have to agree on this. I know it's going to be tough for you to agree on this, but if you don't, give me everything you got, what I say right now. You can't say Trump is an establishment candidate.
No, but I can't say he's corrupt. So there's a huge difference.
There's a huge difference. I can't say that he's anti-establishment, but there's a huge difference. He's a corrupt imbecile. He's a retard. He's stupid. He's moronic. He's been broke. He's a liar. Those are the things that are going to happen. Trump lives right inside this, I don't even know if you want to call it a brain, but he lives inside this cranial skull right here in Cenk Singh. And Cenk's just freaking jealous, folks. He's freaking jealous. He is so up, he just gets so, it's Trump derangement syndrome. The virus has infected this big blob of a body here. That's all there is to say. It's everywhere. It's going through his blood vessels. It's everywhere. He can't look at it rationally. He'll give like a little atom's worth of credit, and then, you know, the avalanche comes. Oh yeah, okay, fine, but. Anyways, let's hear what Cenk the Jenk has to say now about Trump being anti-establishment. I'm sure we're going to hear a whole bunch of things that are really nice about the president coming out of the Cenk the Jenk's mouth.
Difference, and I'll explain.
Okay, fair. Go for it.
Okay, so Trump is not establishment. The establishment hates him. You're totally right about that, okay? And so...
Which for guys like us, we like that, don't we?
Yeah, but then you have to see, okay, why do they hate him, right? And so, number one, he's unstable, so business
can't be controlled.
And that's also true, though. That's also true.
Okay.
Well, no, he can't be controlled because he's so unstable and unhinged.
Which is a strength, though. In a way, it is an edge you have against your enemy, because if the enemy feels they can't control you, dude, we have to eliminate you if we can't control you.
Well, okay, now let's talk about that, though.
Okay.
So now, why do I still say he's super corrupt? And by the way, those stats you showed are in my book, okay? And I explain why. Once the Supreme Court, activist judges on the Supreme Court changed the rules, they basically allowed for
when it happens for the conservative side, they're activist judges. If it happens for the progressives or the Democrat side, oh, they're the best judges in the whole world.
Bribery. Okay,
that's insane.
They legalized bribery. I outline it perfectly clearly. And there was a guy from the Chamber of Commerce, Lewis Powell, who said we could just buy the Supreme. If we get on the Supreme Court, we could buy the whole country. Corporations just can outspend everyone, right? And so, and they did it. Nixon said, "Boom, you're on the Supreme Court," and they did it in Bellotti. They did it in Buckley v. Vallejo. They legalized bribery. Now, Trump had trouble getting money from normal corporate interests, and I agree that's normally a good thing, right? So what did he do? he had to go make up the money. So he went and talked to Sheldon Adelson. So Sheldon Adelson is actually, before he passed away in 2021, largest political donor in history. He gave $100 million to Trump twice, to him and his PACs in 2016 and 2020. What did he get in return? He got corruption charges in China dismissed against him.
To be fair, he's like the Soros of the right. He was like the Soros of the right.
That's
Vegas,
fair.
casino
Yeah,
tycoon,
sure.
pro-Israel.
He got everything. He's the guy who got the embassy moved. He's the guy who repatriating taxes from abroad, because most of his money is in Macau, China, because that's where most of his casinos are.
Casino business,
And he got that tax knocked down to 8%. So from 35%.
First of all, I've said this thing before. Why the hell is the goddamn U.S. government taxing American citizens or whatever for doing business abroad? That's just theft. It's their money that they made in another country. They want to pay taxes in the other country. That's perfectly fine. But the United States government has to have a piece of that pie too. They have to wet their freaking beak. That's just bullshit. Absolute BS. Absolutely. And so if he brought that money back over, he's not going to bring it over for free. If he gave him some money, that's the way business is done. He said, you want to bring that money over? Okay, we'll give you a discount on it, okay? Bring it over.
To 8%. He made billions off of
So
Trump.
what?
And on top of getting rid of the corruption charges and the tax cuts and everything, just as a little tchotchke, Trump threw in Miriam Adelson getting the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
His wife.
His wife. Are you kidding me? So Trump could easily be bought.
Dude, Obama got a Nobel Prize a month after being a president just for what he was.
I know, but that isn't about corruption. That was just them being silly. Right? Okay.
That wasn't corruption, just them being silly.
So my point is
for a
that
DEI score.
Trump is perfectly corrupt and can be bought. It's just that who's buying him is the question.
I don't know.
So you read the portion about Adelson in my book.
Sure.
There's no question he did everything that Adelson asked him. And by the way, I say to the readers, are you sure you wouldn't if somebody funneled $100 million to you and then $200 million to you?
I would.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Look, I've given up a lot of money to do the right thing in different portions of my career, but I haven't seen a lot of other people do that. So my point is that money is intoxicating. It corrupts Trump. It corrupts Biden. And by the way, here, I'll go further.
No, bro.
But
I'll push back on that when you're done.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right, one last thing about it. To me, though, let's look at the flip side of it. Mainstream media will tell you, oh, the Republicans, Mitch McConnell, when he takes $1 billion from corporate interests, he's obviously corrupt. And look at it, he's working for the corporations, et cetera, right? But wait a minute, Nancy Pelosi also took $1 billion. And almost all from the same donors. So why aren't you calling her corrupt? And everyone in mainstream media says, no, Nancy Pelosi's an angel, and she's a master legislator. So when Mitch McConnell takes $1 billion, he's a crook. But when Nancy Pelosi takes $1 billion, she's an angel? No, they're all crooks. That's why we have Feinstein drooling. I'm sorry, but it's reality. In the Senate, Mitch McConnell freezes. He's like, they're all 90 years old. Why? Because corporations know they get a great return on investment from those people.
No question.
You know, out of all the things that in that segment that Cenk the Jenk basically said, that's the only thing that was basically true and that made some sense coming from the blubbering buffoon, Cenk the Jenk, when he said both McCarthy and Pelosi and people on both sides of the aisle, establishment, Republicans, Democrats, whatever, even independents, even people like Bernie said, all of them, they're all within the system. They're all getting, people are coming to them. They're all being, basically, inundated with people, with lobbyists, asking for favors, asking for things in return to give them money, to get their policies put in place that are going to be good for those people. That's the way the system is right now. That's the way it works. You want to call it legalized bribery? Okay, why do you use the word legal in front of it then? It's not illegal bribery, right? It's the way the system works. Money is huge in politics. Money is huge in Washington, D.C. It's what makes Washington, D.C. go round. You want to change it? Change the laws. Get your own people elected to Congress and to the Senate. Get your president elected so that when he gets a chance to put somebody in the Supreme Court, you can get a leftist or a progressive on there. That's the way the whole thing works. But to get up there and rail against people and saying that, Adelson gave him back money, so, he gave his wife a prize, the American Medal of Freedom or whatever it was. Okay, you know what? Hey, nothing illegal about that. Nothing illegal about it at all. And if someone's going to give you some money, they're going to want something back in return. And as long as it's legal, that's the way it works, folks. That's the way it works. Anyways, we appreciate you taking the time to watch. You've been watching the Dr. Nasir Shaikh Show. I've been your host, Dr. Nasir. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel, like, share, and follow us. Hit that notification bell. Check out the links above and below. Other videos out there. My final thought, when you're right, you're right. And when you're left, you're wrong. Until next time, folks, take care and stay safe.